to kind of wrap this out, kind of go into the closing of the last question, we'll just start with Melody. Okay, you get to put a bow on everything that you said, and you can do it one of two ways, or you can do it any way you want, actually. You can either say, this is the best advice I've ever received. Maybe it's don't love the job because it's not going to love you back. I've learned that even at Cameron Brooks Super Meaningful Work, the people love me back, but the organization, the job doesn't love me back. But what's the best advice, or what advice do you want to share in these closing thoughts with our audience out there about work-life balance or career progression or just anything in general?
I love a broad platform, Joel.
Yes.
No, so I'm gonna stick with the veteranness of us all and say, you were successful because you were a leader. People hired you because you're a leader. Do not forget to keep being a leader. No matter what happens, no matter what development, no matter what you look for, being a leader is what is most lacking in the world today. I don't care, look at any part of it. And that is the number one role we can play, whether it's at work, in our social lives, or, in volunteering like Mike does. Just keep being a leader and find that source within you that gives you the energy to keep bringing that every day.
Thanks, Melody. Great advice. I will have one more question for you, but it's a super easy one when we end. Carl, got a broad platform.
Yeah, I'd say my number one advice is that your success will ultimately it will be driven by you, but it will also be mostly driven by the people that you surround yourself with, and the people that you build and are a part of your team. And so as we sort of started out the presentation and talking about relationships, remember that those relationships that you build with your team members are the important ones, both with your bosses and your superiors, as well as those that work with you and work for you. Those are the most important relationships that you can develop, and your success is ultimately going to be predicated by how that team is able to support you throughout your career.
It's good advice, Carl. Thank you. Kind of goes back to what we talked right in the beginning about the other people. What about you, Mike? How do you want to wrap this up?
Simple for me: love people, know your why, and don't communicate, but connect.
So I had an amazing mentor in college. His name was Bob Drebs, also a mentor. A veteran, Navy officer during Vietnam. And he was so generous to me, but he always said to me, when I was real motivated, type A, I got to graduate with a high GPA, I got to go into the Army, do this. He's like, stop. Remember, it's not what you do, it's who you are. And I think we've touched on a lot of that tonight. And Mike kind of just said that, love people. And remember, it's not what you do in life, it's who you are. It's loving people, it's being a good person, it's serving others, it's doing the very best that you can, mentoring and developing other people, giving back. And Roger Cameron said this a lot, and I kind of get tears in my eyes. I just played golf with him several weeks ago, and it was a great experience because this guy was like really tough on me, but he really cares about people. And he always said it's the little things that people are going to remember about you and your character. It's not going to be your big accomplishments. When it's all said and done, it's going to be these little things that people remember about you. So maybe that will help you with work-life balance and how to think about your career progression. Maybe take some of that pressure off of, I got to be here right now, I don't measure up, and what about this person? And compare myself to other people, but really look at you and where you want to be. And are you on track and authentic to yourself?